This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and today we're in Florida. I'm here with an international bestseller. This author's awakening to the truth of our racial divide has inspired a peaceful solution to racism. I'm joined here by Robert. Robert, thanks so much for joining us here today.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much for having me on.
I'm going to start off a little bit about yourself. I mean, quite honestly, your experiences are unique. You have the skills and understanding that is helping develop more truth and honesty really in our world today. As a boy born in Germany who became a proud American, was writing a book something you ever thought you would do?
No, I never thought I would do it. It actually happened back during COVID in 21. I was not writing on this subject. I was writing on a past. I've had a checkered past, made a lot of mistakes, had a lot of ups and downs. And a lot of my experiences is I've been in culturally less advantaged neighborhoods. So I have a lot of cultural experiences with different types of people, which is wonderful because it helps me fill in the gaps where some people can't. And then besides that, I've done a lot of labor skills where I've worked for many people. And it's just amazing how much alike we are, no matter who we are. But this thing about racism, I didn't know I was going to write about it, to be quite honest. I was having marital problems, and they were actually about racism. I have two wonderful grandsons who are very beautiful, but they're falsely labeled in my eyes and in God's eyes. No one's biracial. We're all one race. And what happened while I was trying to write a book about my past, I kept getting writer's block, which is normal for anybody writing a book, I'm sure, especially for a first-time book. And then spiritually, God just said the title, and he told me the title. I give the title to God because that's where the title came from. It didn't come from me. And when he said the false color divide, I knew exactly what he wanted me to write. I had no more writer's block. And I was able to push through it and figure it out what he wanted me to try to do.
Once that title was given to you, no more writer's block. You're able to see what you needed to do. I mean, the concept of race as a way of classifying and ranking human groups based on physical characteristics, particularly skin color, that began to develop back in the 15th century. I mean, is it safe to say everyone alive today has been exposed to this model of race, would you say?
Well, listen, I understand where you get the 15th century, you know, the Crusades and medieval times and stuff. But it actually began further back than that, because in the 7th century, the Moors invaded Portugal to try to take over the Straits of Gibraltar. And historically, it was announced they came in as black as night. And once they did that, for some reason, the human populations of that era and time started to make people to be white and black way before the 15th century. You're talking 7th century. It's just insane how long it's been going on. But to get to the foundation, what brought me where I am is God.
Yeah.
You know, I grew up with God beginning in my life as a child. And one of the great, wonderful things to have in my life was the idea of a man like Martin Luther King, because my father was kind of like angry and violent, and Martin Luther King was peaceful and nonviolent, and it affected me right from that age on. And
speaking of your childhood, early on in childhood, we are all pre-programmed about racism. I mean, were your racial framed positions of color, was that kind of elementary learning? And when did that change for you when you realized, wait a minute, this doesn't seem to fit?
Yeah, I'm laughing because, you know, there's many things we can go over, but I never believed in it from the beginning. I'm an artist. Like the cover on my book, I drew it. So I'm an artist, and I can't draw nobody black and white. You know, we're not shadows and cast for the ghosts. We're wonderful beings made by God, and just for me to make any person, I have to add a little bit of each color and mix it in to get a person just right. So I never believed in black and white, and my parents never pushed the issue. the institutions like newspaper, school, and I grew up with black and white TV. They depict people to be that, and everybody fell in line and believed that, and they still believe that today.
I mean, these races were created, like you said, in medieval times. So is it time that we evolve and maybe realize that was a mistake?
We actually already have evolved, and people are more honest than you realize. I talked to so many people since starting this, and people really realize they're not black and white. They just don't know how to break free of it. And that's really interesting because this is a country called best for its freedom. And when a citizen can't break free of something archaic as the idea of being black or white, that's a sad programming of what's happened to us all.
I mean, as science evolves, you would think we too must evolve. I mean, to see we're all one of a kind, as the science of DNA proves. Honestly, in God's view, we're all masterpieces, right?
Yeah, that's the way I look at it. And you know what? It gives me great joy because, like one of the jobs I do now for extra money is Uber driver. So the most wonderful masterpiece that I see enter my vehicle when I pick on a passenger is the smile God gave them. It is so wonderful to see people full of joy and a happy smile on them. And then you realize that a master made that masterpiece in somebody to where they could be joyful when they go out in their day and they shine brightly for all of us to see. We're all individuals, and this is a wonderful concept that our schools aren't teaching our children best today. And there's more to come. I am slowly working on another book, but I also have to work for a living. So, if my living could change and I could speak for a living or do a consultation for others, that would be wonderful because really, I think most of us can break free of this whole idea of I kind of call it institutional injustice because that's what it is. It's not just to call somebody what we're not. One thing happened when I was a child. What started it all off for me was, watching the news and racism and Martin Luther King was, I looked at the color white and I looked at what I was drawing and I said, I'm not white. Well, recently with my grandson, I did a TikTok video and I just showed him the two colors. And then I asked him, if someone said you were this color, would you say you were that color? And he said no, because he's not, but he's framed. We're all framed. We're put into this framework that people are falling into it. And the worst outcome of it all is we go into the idea of that terminology, like the idea of white trash or black trash. None of us are trash. We're nothing to throw away. If anything, we're something to pick up and help along. And that's where we got to do. We got to help each other with our character. And that's what the next book's going to be about, because people have forgotten God made our languages. Well, he made a secret code inside the English language, which I would love to share another time.
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, I grew up in a small town that was really all white people everywhere around me. I never even understood why I was different. I mean, I was a Hispanic kid, but quite honestly, I felt right at home with anybody who I hung out with. Robert, you believe we are all one race with one God. It's been said that the truth will set you free. If we all embraced it, would this truth improve our world today?
Of course, it'll improve our world. You know what it'll improve the most importantly is your faith in God. Since the 50s, we sloganed "In God We Trust." That started with Eisenhower, and it got onto all our bills and stuff. Of course, that's not in the book, but you research and you go on your phone today and you ask how many people believe in God in America, and you'll get a thing like 81%. Back in COVID in 21, it was 83%. So it's down a little bit. And then there's other things that'll say 9 out of 10 people believe. Well, all these people that believe in God, they believe God is the greatest power in the world. Well, what is the second greatest power in the world? People that believe in God. There is no greater power than all the people that believe in God. It doesn't matter what religion you are, if we all believe in God together, we all believe that he made us all, there's no question about it, and there's no doubt about what we are. We're all made by God, and we're all God's children. Everything else is all politics,
Yeah.
and institutionalism. It's just, it's so horrifically wrong what has happened to the world and the believers in God, because a joyful person that believes in God is very joyful until they bring politics in their life. And that's part of what the commandments is in Christianity.
So much division out there we see. So what will the reader learn about in your book, The False Color Divide? Explain to us what they're going to find in those pages.
Well, obviously you read some of it, so I didn't mean to program people, but I wrote little segments at the end of things where you're making a pledge again. You're doing the re-pledge of like the Pledge of Allegiance, and in the Pledge of Allegiance, which is a wonderful pledge, of course, made back for World War II to bring America back together and through Boys Life magazine. But I forget the guy's name right at hand, but that was a wonderful thing that's happened in this country. And it's still a wonderful thing happening in this country. Not in every city, though, I noticed. But in basically all the elementary classes, people are saying the Pledge of Allegiance as children, and they're joining together as one group, believing that they should be indivisible. If we could really put that in a solid foundation for these children, America will change immensely. The idea of diversity and everything, that's all well and good. The idea of separate heritages, that's all well and good. But that's all the past. We have to head towards the future. And the future is our children. And if we don't teach our children the right from wrong right in the beginning, why do we make them pledge to a flag to say they're going to be indivisible and then to get them to divide as soon as they leave school? Sure. That's not right.
No, united we stand, right. Divided we fall. I mean, we live in America, one nation under God. So who do you hope reads your book and joins in your peaceful solution?
Well, you know what? I hope many people read the book, of course. It's not that I'm making money off of it. I wish I could give it freely to everybody, and I give it freely to talk and by talking to people. And that's where I'm aiming for. But the book is a foundation and a stepping stone for me as much as it is for anybody else. I mean, God had me write that book to give me a leg to stand on. And it did. It gave me a leg to stand on. And it spiritually, he finally molded into me something that he knew I was going to be for him. I'm a messenger. That's obviously what he wanted. I was in Uganda last year, and that's when he told me spiritually I was a messenger, which oddly has been going on for 18 years, but I didn't hear it then. But now I know it. So that's my journey. My journey is to get involved with a lot more people of faith. Because one thing I want to say in the idea of Christianity, Jesus did something really important, profound that people don't pay attention to. He said, I am 7 times. There's 7 days a week. So he was who he was 7 days a week. We are too. The I is our character letter. It's the foundation of every character that we have around us. And if you can't build your character and center it like the word faith, the I is in the middle of the word faith. Well, your faith, the center of your faith is your I. And you have to build your character, and you have to build it in the right way. These are things that are going to come out in the next book. But it is essential and very important for us to build our character in an honest and truthful way. You look at the word truth. The center word is you. You're meant to be in the truth. These are little code things that God has shared with me to help us understand that these are the things we're supposed to be. Like if we lie, the center, if I center myself on a lie, then my character's not good. And that's what's happening in why we divide ourselves. Right. We center ourselves on lies instead of the truth.
Speaking of creating a life based on a lie, I mean, this is the frame our ancestors laid out for us, and it's been taught for centuries. Is it difficult for many to let go of those old teachings? Yet was it easy for you once you discovered?
It's interesting you said it, that they laid it out for us. They followed suit. We're followers. That's part of our problem. It's wonderful to follow things. I like researching. I like looking at things. I like to believe something I'm following is good, but we need to follow ourselves. We need to find our own character. And we cannot define our character by other people's characters. We have to find our own character and mold ourselves to who we are. Not what the world was in the past, not what the world's becoming in the future. We have to find ourselves. So that's part of what this is. And that's why it's a peaceful solution. If you can get rid of everything that divides you and start to mold yourself on your own character, you won't have all these problems.
That is a good mission for everybody out there after they read your book to take forward. Where can the public find your book?
Right now, it's only on the Kindle KDP. I haven't had the opportunity to get it in a bookstore. Things are a lot different today. You need money to promote things, and I don't have money to promote everything. So, and that's okay. It's okay. I'm not in a hurry. The world didn't get this way in a hurry. And I'm not going anywhere soon. I'm very healthy, I'm very happy, and I'm very blessed.
That's great. Robert, you were taught to really look at a problem and try to find an answer how to fix it. You say that your book is just a chance for you really to honor God. Is it rewarding sharing the truth that you found also with others?
I find the greatest reward when a light clicks on in their head. It's not a reward for me. I like to see the reward in somebody else. This problem with biracial problems, it's actually a disease. It's a mental problem for many people in the world. This biracial element or bicultural element has always been a problem for many children. I say that for myself because I was born in Germany. My mother was German. My father was American. And when I came here, my father did not want me to learn German. He wanted me only to speak English because he didn't want me to learn a language that I could talk with my mother behind his back, because he had that fear. He didn't want to be excluded. He wanted everything to be something he could understand. And, I don't hold him at fault for that because he had minimum education. His father died early. He had to quit school and go to work as a little kid, just about. So, there's all kinds of things causing problems with children. And this is the easiest thing to fix. It really is. If people would stop dividing their world and making issues of hierarchy or lowarchy, because my grandfather was a Burgermeister in Germany, which is like a mayor. Very intelligent man. He died when I was 15. My mother was very intelligent, did well in school, but she met my father, and out of love, by the grace of God, when I say I'm American, I say it's by the grace of God, love, and country. Because if it wasn't for God, first, I wouldn't be here. And second, I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the love of my parents to bring me to this nation. And then lastly, of course, this nation welcomes immigrants that come in legally and become part of our society and try their best to do the best they can. And that's how I'm honoring my country, because I've made mistakes. So now I have to do my best to correct not just my mistakes, but find answers on how we can help one another.
Absolutely. I would agree with you. And I have to tell you that it's been a pleasure to get your story out there to my viewers. Viewers, let's take a look at the bottom of the screen right there. What you're going to see is his LinkedIn profile where you can reach out and follow Robert right there. You can also get the download right there on a Kindle. Go on Amazon, download the book, read it for yourself, where you too will learn that these races that we have been taught really are a theory with no facts of scientific or medical proof. Once again, that is the false color divide. Arguments over, case closed. This is Gary Atencio with CNTV, and if you don't know, now you know.